I see the people coming from that school of thought, from the Ram magazine, from the guru way of doing things, where people want to ask somebody, or they want to ask a publication, or they want a publication or a company to tell them, like a Ram, Retire Abroad Media magazine, to tell them, this is the cheapest place to retire, this is the best place to retire, this is the place where it's only going to cost you this much. And all of those things are all misleading. Every single one of them, they're all misleading. I don't think it's going to cost 100. I don't think it's going to cost 100 or 200. I think it's going to cost 20. Of this monopoly money.
How much is that in dollars? That's the big question. How many dollars is equal to that?
That's about $6.40. Garçon?
Is that how you say it in Georgian? Have you already learned how to say to the waiter?
No, that's French.
Oh. So much for me knowing any languages. I just let Frank do all that hard stuff.
Chicken, por favor. Chicken, por favor.
But wait a minute. Our waiter speaks English. Slightly.
Hello? What's going on?
Did you just say no in Georgian?
I said no in Georgian. Wrong number.
Well, at least you can do that.
That's about all I can do. This is one of those catch-22s, you know, where you've got these extremes, where you've got all these people that are looking for the cheap, the best, the this, the that. And on the other hand, you've got the situation where the very fact that they're doing it this way is going to change the place. It's going to forever change the place over a period of time. So we're in Dunkin' Donuts in Eastern Europe, and Angie's going to fall for a Dunkin' Donut. Yeah, she's going to go for it. All right, well, let's do it. Oh, pay first, then eat. That makes sense.
Thank you. How do you say thank you in Georgian? Baklava. It's almost like baklava.
Yeah.
Cream.
Skimpy on the cream? Shame on you, Duncan. That's why we used to go to Krispy Kreme.
Right. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Okay,
there.
Spoke too soon. I guess there is a little cream in there. Just wanted you to know that this is a rarity, this English exit right here. I mean, you can clearly tell you're going out, but like in the airport, there was no exit in English, and it was like, okay, which direction do we go? And we used to see people coming out of Mexico even back then and coming to Cuenca and saying, oh yeah, Mexico, we used to like it, it's more expensive now, I'm getting older, it's too hot, all these reasons why they no longer like their previous paradise. And so then they were coming to the new paradise, but they were engaging in the same behaviors that they were engaging in their old paradise, meaning finding their lodging, their food, everything that they do is all the same way. And it just creates that same bubble that they just left in the other place. Yet we survived that bubble. We actually thrived through that bubble. We had people wonder, how were you able to maintain your rent, you know, when the rents around you were going up, and all these things, all these little details that we have worked out over a period of almost a decade. Like, you know, we kept the same $250 rent, and then when we moved, we got another $300 rental. And if a place is really small, like Salinas, and really touristy, then it gets harder to do. But it did take us a little longer, but we still found our $300 rental there. I'm not saying that $300 is the end-all, be-all number. It just so happens that that's what the local rates were. You know, we're just committed to doing things at a local rate. And that's the kind of attitude that has kept us out of trouble everywhere we go, whether it's Italy or Ecuador, and I'm talking financially. We've had people come to us that, for example, in Cuenca, Ecuador, years ago, she came to Cuenca, Ecuador, and did things this way everyone does them, and found that she couldn't afford Cuenca, Ecuador. And this is a place that was being touted as the best place to retire on a budget. And she left Cuenca, Ecuador because it was too expensive. And this wasn't somebody on an $800 check. She had almost a $1,500 or something, $1,800 retirement, and she couldn't do it. And so then she found our website after she had already left and went home, found our website, came back, contacted us, and did things differently. We no longer go physically into a location like that and physically help people on a one-on-one like that because it's not necessary. If we were able to learn the techniques and the ways and strategies of doing this, then so can you. If we can do it, you can do it. We didn't know anything about it before, and we can teach you how to do it, and we can show you. And it's not that you have to feel like you're all by yourself and I just don't feel confident. I don't know if I could do this. I can show you how to immensely increase your options to where you have no fear. Like, say you wanted to buy orange and you knew it was supposed to be 20 cents, okay? But you knew the locals were charging the foreigners $1, right? And then you go down the street and there's only one orange seller and you're afraid because you know if that guy pumps that price up to $1, you're not gonna be able to buy an orange today. But I'm gonna show you how to have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 orange sellers at your disposal, all at 20 cents. And then if one of them raises the price to $1, you simply go to the next one. You don't necessarily have to do this all on your own. What you do is you take responsibility for knowing what should be done, how it should be done, and you take responsibility. And then once you know that and you decide you want to do it, then getting a little local help is fine. But you see, it puts the control back in your hands rather than just showing up and expecting a local friend to do it for you, which puts you in a position of weakness because you're depending on a trust situation, which I'm not saying it's not there, but once a lot of foreigners are showing up, it's really hard for locals not to just overcharge you because it's so easy. So you don't have to depend on trust, and you don't have to make it a guessing game, because maybe the person's trustworthy, but they don't really have a vested interest in making sure you're paying the local rate. I mean, if you're paying a little bit over or somewhat over, well, they're not going to fuss too much because it's not their money. So it puts you back in control, and it puts you in the driver's seat of knowing what to do, knowing how to do it, what to pay, ferret it all out, and put you in a position of strength. And also get to the bottom of the kind of information that you really need to know about a place that's not so superficial, like, is the food expensive? And I'm not saying that the cost of food is superficial. I'm saying that that's not all there is to know. There's a lot more to know when you go abroad because, it's not Kansas anymore, total, right? Cliche. I just find this escalator to be fantastic. You see, that's way up there at the top. And we're heading towards the bottom, and it's just a really steep incline, and it really smells like a basement. I mean, it's really basementy. See that tunnel? That is a real, that's a real tunnel.
People that want to go fast, huh?
And we're still on here. We're still not at the end. This is Soviet era. Soviet era metro. So this here tells you how many stops. So all I did was look on the map, and that tells you where you're at in the red. And then if you're going over there, which is what we looked up on the map, that's just the next stop, see? And that's the second stop, third stop. That's how that works. there's a confirmation. There's a year imprint right here.
1st July 2019 to 1st July 2020. The inspection will be from 6 a.m. until 11 p.m. We apologize for the inconvenience.
I asked this taxi driver to make the example what the price of charcoal, a bag of charcoal was. Now I had, I already knew what the price of charcoal, the local price of charcoal was. So I was testing him, and so I said, well, how much, in Spanish, how much is the price of charcoal? And it was $1. I knew it was $1, but he said $5. So you see, you can't you can't always go by that. You can't, you know. So and that was in Ecuador. That was in a village in Ecuador. You see what I'm saying now? Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. All right, we're in Great Britain and Northern Ireland, hon. Let us know in the comments if there's anything else we can talk about.